And so, yeah, my foundation was completely shattered. It was totally unexpected. My dad was my best friend. We were super close. In many ways, he was like a hero to me. So when my dad was arrested, to say it was a shock is an understatement. He had a relationship with a student. He was a high school teacher. He betrayed what he had always taught me and who I thought he was. I felt a lot of shame in the beginning because it was all over the news, and I somehow felt like his actions were a reflection of me. It's really hard to put into words, honestly, the shame that you feel. I felt for a long time like I didn't want to keep going. I was just exhausted. I was mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted, and I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to do any of the things I was responsible for. That was hard. I didn't want to feel so heavy. I didn't want to keep going like that.
I became so fixated with my faith and poking holes in that. My studies got pushed aside, my grades took a hit. I started to want to disbelieve. And I think that's when the darkness for me personally really set in. As I dug deeper and deeper in trying to find anything and everything negative I can find about God, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and just Christianity more generally. I remember also reading lots of Exodus stories, people that had similar questions and ultimately decided to leave the church. And that was tempting to me. I just felt like I had no grip on anything. Everything that I'd ever believed, I felt like was slipping through my fingers, and I had no idea what to believe anymore. It was terrifying. I remember weeping in the shower, and I remember struggling to sleep and tossing and turning, and it was just all I could think about. Other conversations could be going on, and everything was just going back to this fundamental question of what is real, what is true.
Part of me wanted so much to hide what was going on inside of me. I didn't want anybody to look at me and be able to guess that I was struggling with anything. I was just a normal kid. I loved sports and always wanted to be a writer. I enjoyed plays because I felt like I can be somebody else for a bit, and it helped me forget what was going on in my life. I came across pornography when I was 11 years old. At first it felt like curiosity, and then it became out of control. I couldn't not look anymore. I didn't want to tell anybody because I thought they'd look at me different. At church, teachers would start it out by saying, I know none of you look at pornography. I know you're all good girls, but I have to give this lesson about pornography. I felt another level of shame. And I'd say, you just told every girl there they're not good if they've done that. I was angry all the time at my family. They didn't know why. My sister said many times, why don't you want to spend time with us? And I could never tell her. Sometimes I felt like they didn't really know me. And if they did it, they wouldn't love me. It just hit me that this addiction felt more important to me than they were. And so I knew I just had to stop. I did a lot of research on how I could stop, but it was all geared toward men. I didn't know how to make it relate to me as a woman. It just made me feel more alone. Am I the only woman struggling with this? I got to a point where I felt like I was hopeless beyond repair.